Today's lesson is kind of a work day at the end of the semester, so the students have a pretty structured routine every day. And after our routine, when they come into the beginning of class, is just kind of a work day to get caught up and finish the assignments before their deadline next Thursday, which is the end of the semester for them. So this lesson is kind of wrapping up our unit on microbes and cell biology. So it's kind of an independent, they've been given enough direct instruction. It's like an independent kind of explore, analyze questions kind of activity today. So there's actually 3 mini lessons going on within the classroom today. And the first one is being able to identify similarities and differences between bacteria, protists, and human cells. So it's kind of a compare and contrast between what students are observing in the microscope. So it's really hands-on. It's getting students familiar with the equipment. And then the second activity is categorizing them without knowing what they are. So it's kind of taking it a step further, like, okay, these are the descriptions of what of the microbe you're looking at, so how would you categorize them? And then the third one is just an independent note-taking activity to prep them for their final assessment. So.
And is this, within the sciences, is a part of a larger learning sequence?
It is. So for 7th grade, it's an intro to biology, so we start very small and move bigger. So this is our prokaryote, eukaryote unit, and then we're moving into genetics and learning about DNA and heredity for next quarter, and then we're ending with like adaptations and evolution. So it's kind of the big picture of change over time, starting at a cellular level. Objectives are always posted on the board, but we try to talk about them at the end of class as kind of an exit ticket. Do we meet our goal for the day? Check-ins happen usually with the due later that students do at the beginning, like a review of things they'll need to know before the activity starts today, and it's my chance to kind of peek in and be like, okay, you got it, you need a little bit more help, let's talk it out. So the do now is really valuable for me in that way. The microscopes, one activity is in a small group with myself, so that's fairly easy to check for understanding. Let me see. The independent work is harder to get to. I kind of have to assess that after. And then the categorizing activity, I also have another teacher with me who checks in to make sure that students are not totally off. So expectations, student behavior. I spent a lot of time first quarter not going through content, but just setting up routines and expectations for entering class, but also for like the Chromebook. How do we use the Chromebook responsibly? And so I've dedicated a lot of time in first quarter to set these up pretty strong. So it actually is kind of left over from the work we've done, that students just know what's expected. It'll be verbalized many times, like what are the expectations? And the class will stop if we need to review those, but they're pretty good at synthesizing what we did that first quarter to really just make it second nature for them. How do we know what we know about the natural world around us? But it's also more than that, because we have a lot of what do students know, what can students do, and then how do they do it, what are their work habits? So it's using kind of all 3 of those in one class to kind of see if they're actually picking up content, performance, and good work habits to answer this big question that we don't have an answer to. So. Like I said, anytime there's hands-on with real equipment, students are engaged. I think they like the idea of seeing a whole world that we don't normally see or are exposed to, and like talking about germs and transferable diseases is kind of naturally engaging. To keep them on task is the freedom of choice, keep not on task, but the engagement high. They have the freedom of choice to move freely between any activity they want. So if they're feeling like they want to listen to music and just do independent, there's one. If they want to get on the equipment, there's another. If they want to work with a partner, they haven't. So they have choice. So I think that keeps the engagement high. So I think it's meaningful for students, especially the first activity, because they're actually dealing with equipment, and a lot of their idea of science is experiments and equipment, but not really knowing how to use them or the procedures for them. So I think this is a good intro for them to get their hands on the equipment and kind of feel it out. They get really excited when they see something living under the microscope, so that's always cool. What was the rest of the?
Meaningful.
Meaningful.
Useful.
Yeah, so actually I'm going to find that out today, how useful it is to them, because we're trying to connect everything we do to our larger essential question, which is the same in the whole science department. So 6th, 7th, and 8th, they have the same essential question that they're answering. And I'm actually going to find out how they think what we're doing is connecting to that larger essential question today.
And that essential question is?
It is, how do we know what we know about the natural world around us? That's what we decided as a department at the beginning of the year. So.